Welcome to my YouTube channel Kindness of the World. Please subscribe for more videos. The sun had barely risen over the quiet town of Willow Creek when Officer Daniel Hayes began his morning patrol. The streets were still damp from last night's rain, glistening under the early rays of light. For Hayes, it was supposed to be another ordinary shift of checking neighborhoods, waving at early joggers, making sure the town remained as safe as it always appeared to be. But that morning, everything changed. As he turned onto Maple Avenue, Hayes spotted a small figure running toward him. At first, he thought it was a child late for school, but as the girl drew closer, he noticed her tiny hands flailing, her cheeks red and wet with tears. She couldn't have been more than 7 years old. Dressed in a faded yellow dress and sneakers that seemed too big for her feet, she stopped in front of his patrol car, breathless, sobbing so hard she could barely get the words out. "Officer, please follow me home," she cried, her voice trembling with desperation. "You have to help. My mommy a broken bar. My mommy's not waking up." Hayes's heart skipped. He immediately pulled the car over and jumped out. "Slow down, sweetheart. Tell me your name." "Leela," she sniffled, wiping her face with the back of her hand. "Please, you have to come right now." Something in her eyes, a raw fear mixed with the fragile innocence of a child, that told Hayes this was no prank, no mistake. He crouched down, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Okay, Leela, show me the way." Leela led him quickly through narrow side streets until they reached a small, run-down house at the edge of town. The paint was peeling, the garden overgrown. Hayes's chest tightened as he noticed the front door ajar, swaying slightly with the breeze. "Inside," Leela whispered, clinging to his hand. "She's inside." Hayes radioed for backup and an ambulance before stepping into the dimly lit living room. The air was heavy with the smell of stale cigarettes and something else, something bitter, chemical. His eyes adjusted to the gloom, and there on the couch lay a woman, motionless, her face pale as paper. "Mommy!" Leela screamed, rushing to her side. "Please wake up, I brought help." Hayes hurried over, kneeling to check for a pulse. To his relief, he felt the faint but steady thump beneath her skin. She was alive, but barely conscious. "Ma'am, can you hear me?" he called, gently shaking her shoulder. The woman groaned, her eyelids fluttering, but she couldn't form words. Empty pill bottles scattered across the coffee table told the story of an overdose. Hayes swallowed hard. He'd seen this too many times, but never with a child standing right there, watching. "Leela, sweetheart, I need you to step outside for a moment." "Okay, the doctors are coming." "No, I don't want to leave her," Leela wailed, gripping her mother's limp hand. "She promised she'd never leave me." Hayes's throat tightened. He carefully pried Leela's small fingers away, carrying her to the porch as sirens grew louder in the distance. "Listen to me," he said softly, crouching so his eyes met hers. "Your mom is very sick right now, but because you were so brave and ran for help, she has a chance. Do you understand? You may have just saved her life." Tears streamed down her face, but she nodded, clinging to his uniform as if it were the only solid thing in her world. Within minutes, paramedics arrived, rushing inside with stretchers and equipment. Hayes stayed with Leela, holding her hand as she watched strangers lift her mother into the ambulance. "Can I go with her?" she begged. "Yes, sweetheart," Hayes assured her. He helped her climb inside, then followed in his patrol car to Willow Creek General Hospital. All the way there, his mind replayed the scene of the emptiness in that house, the desperation in Leela's eyes. He couldn't shake the question, what kind of life had this little girl been living? At the hospital, doctors worked quickly to stabilize Leela's mother, whose name they learned was Rebecca Miller, 34 years old. She was admitted to the intensive care unit, unconscious but alive. Meanwhile, Hayes stayed by Leela's side in the waiting room. She sat curled up in a chair, her small frame trembling under the too big jacket a nurse had given her. "Do you have anyone else we can call, Leela?" "A grandparent, an aunt or uncle?" Hayes asked gently. Leela shook her head. "It's just me and Mommy. Daddy left when I was a baby. Mommy tries really hard, but a broken bar sometimes she gets so sad. She says the world is too heavy." Hayes felt his chest ache. He'd heard adults describe depression in clinical terms, but hearing it from a child's mouth was devastating. "Do you ever go hungry?" he asked carefully. "Sometimes, Leela admitted. "But mommy always gives me her food if there isn't enough." Her voice cracked. "She loves me. She really does. She just a broken bar. She just gets tired of fighting." Hayes reached out, squeezing her little hand. "I believe you, Leela. Your mom loves you very much. And right now, she's fighting harder than ever because she wants to stay with you." By the end of the day, social services had arrived, and arrangements were made for Leela to stay in temporary foster care until her mother recovered. Leela clung to Hayes when they came to take her, her tear-filled eyes silently begging him not to let her go. "I'll come see you," Hayes promised, his voice thick with emotion. "You're not alone anymore, Leela, not ever again." Over the next few weeks, Hayes kept his word. He visited Leela often, bringing small gifts: a sketchbook, colored pencils, her favorite strawberry lollipops. Each time, her face lit up, the shadows of fear fading a little more, and slowly, Rebecca began to recover too. With therapy, support, and the knowledge that her daughter hadn't given up on her, she found the strength to fight her addiction and depression. The day Rebecca was finally well enough to reunite with Leela, the hospital arranged a small room for them. Hayes was invited to witness it. When Rebecca walked in, frail but standing tall, Leela ran across the room and leapt into her arms. Both of them sobbed openly, clinging as though they'd never let go again. "Mommy, I was so scared," Leela whispered into her hair. "I know, baby," Rebecca cried, "but you saved me. You saved my life." There wasn't a dry eye in the room, and not among the nurses, not among the social workers, and certainly not in Hayes's eyes. Months later, on a sunny afternoon in Willow Creek, Hayes drove past the very same street where Leela had once flagged him down. This time, he saw her playing outside the now freshly painted house, laughing as Rebecca tended a small flower garden. Leela spotted him instantly. "Officer Hayes!" she shouted, running to the curb to wave. Hayes rolled down his window, smiling. "Hey, kiddo, how's my little hero?" "I'm good. Mommy and I are planting sunflowers. Wanna see?" He parked the car and walked over, shaking Rebecca's hand firmly. Her eyes were clearer now, full of gratitude and determination. "I don't know how to ever thank you," she said softly. "You don't need to," Hayes replied. "You and Leela already did that by finding your way back to each other." That night, Hayes sat alone in his patrol car, watching the stars prick the sky. He thought about how close tragedy had come to stealing a little girl's world, and how courage, love, and a desperate plea for help had turned it into a story of survival and hope. He realized something profound: heroes don't always wear uniforms or badges. Sometimes, they wear yellow dresses and carry broken hearts too heavy for their small bodies. And sometimes, their bravery is enough to save not just one life, but two.